Today, I want to do my due diligence and talk about another indie comic that I feel like it may not be on a lot of people's radar. I don't do a lot of stuff from Mad Cave Studios, but there's a book that I heard and saw recently coming out called Temporal that is written by Miss Stephanie Williams, and it was drawn by Isaiah Fulmore, and the colors done by DJ Chavez, and lettering by Becca Carey. And editor was James B. Emmett. This is a book that really got my attention because for people that aren't aware, Stephanie Williams is a prolific comic book writer, and she's done a lot of amazing things, especially a lot of amazing things for Black characters within comic books. She even has a Nubia run that came out with DC that I think was around 5 issues that I really need to go up and finish. I have the first issue on the shelf actually over here somewhere. I'm a big fan of Stephanie Williams and the work that she does. And when I heard about this book coming out, I thought, why not? Let's check it out. The cover art looked amazing too, by the way. So you guys can see it here. I had to check this thing out. So this video is going to be me discussing the book, what I thought about the book, and suggesting if you should go spend your hard-earned money on this book. But without further ado, let's check out Temporal Issue 1.
You're now watching The Captain.
So this story is essentially a time travel story. It's one that kind of is a mixture, in my opinion, of like Back to the Future with like Indiana Jones, to where this character, Savannah Green, is seemingly a part of some sort of like time travel association or organization that is in charge of going back into time and stealing different historical artifacts and bringing them to the future. And they then use them as museum pieces, or they sell them off to the highest bidder for the most part, is what it seems like. And Savannah was a thrill seeker for the most part. And we see that earlier on in the book, where Savannah is someone who loves to go back in time and do these high risk things and get away with stealing things. After seeing and getting introduced to her and her husband and seeing what they did in their younger days, we then like fast forward to a couple years in the future where she's now retired because her and her now husband have a child together. They wanted to retire and leave the life behind so they could raise their child. And this book kind of follows that similar issue that you hear about a lot of athletes going through when they retire, where a lot of their best years of their life and everything revolving their life up until the point they retired was them playing a sport or training for the sport or being in the sport. This seems like a very similar thing to where Savannah seems like most of her life she was a thrill seeker. She was running around in the past, stealing the things she wanted to steal for work and having fun doing that. So her giving that up, she maybe felt like she was missing a piece of herself. She was having fun and enjoyed being a mother, and we showcase that she is a good mother. It's not one of those scenarios where she's a bad mom. She is a really loving mother and tries her best to do for her son as much as she can. But on top of the fact that she doesn't feel like she is like fulfilled in her current life, feeling like she's just like existing and she's not really having a lot of purpose within her life now that her dream career is done for and she's just being a mom now. This is all capped off when we are at the birthday party that is thrown for her son, and her son has his heart set on this gift called a Mini Max, which I kind of take to be like a Game Boy or like a PS, some kind of handheld gaming device from the past, and he wants an original one, not a replica, not anything fake, but a like real one from the past. And he doesn't get that. His parents end up getting him one that is a replica. In Savannah's eyes, she's like feeling like she is inadequate, like she's not enough, like she's not doing enough, like she should be doing better for her son, and her son deserves a real life Mini Max versus the replica they got him. And the husband is kind of in this situation where like, hey man, he's chilling, he loves playing the game that he got, you know, what's going on here? Why are you feeling this way? Why are you talking this manner? Again, it's just a matter of Savannah does not feel fulfilled in the current life that she has. So what does she do? She uses her son not having the real Mini Max that he wants as a guise to pursue going back into the field, essentially. She calls up one of her old friends from the life that's still currently doing the time traveler, like Indiana Jones shtick. She is taken back to the agency she works at, and we find out that like this thing that is going on with her is like this big organization. It's not just her stealing technology to go back and steal things for her. It's like an actual, like, I assume like think the TVA from Marvel and how that works, but instead of like monitoring the timeline, their whole job is to go back and steal shit from the past timelines. It's weird how that works, but that's the way that I kind of conceptually make sense in my head. Y'all let me know in the comment section below if you thought differently. But moving on, we get close to the end of the book, and it's essentially just Savannah finally getting to go back into the field and going to get her son that Mini Max they deserve. Now, I'm gonna assume in the second issue, things aren't gonna go as planned and she's gonna mess something up in the past, or maybe she's rusty, I don't know. But I will say this first issue did enough to make me excited to go read the second issue and see just what this has to offer. I think Stephanie Williams in the writing for this book did a great job of like introducing you to a character, into a concept, who they are, how they feel, and what's going on in this world very quickly. This book was very efficient with how they went through and did things. And I find that very surprising because with a book that plays around with time travel, I feel like those stories tend to kind of stall out a lot because there's just so much jumping around in time, and time's such a hard focused thing. Seemingly this book, Stephanie Williams does a good job of using time travel as a medium to tell a story in regards to what the central plot is about, but keeping the story very streamlined to what's going on. There's not a lot of hopping back and forth into past and current day. Now that may be the case going forward, I don't know, but as far as now, this was a very straightforward story that I really enjoyed. It wasn't anything crazy innovative, but it was very fresh, it was very clean, and it has me excited to read more. Now is where we get to the part where I'll tell you guys, is this book worth you buying? Personally, drum roll please, I think it is. I think this book is something fresh and clean in regards to what's currently out there in comics right now. And I think it has enough of a familiarity with things like, again, Back to the Future or Indiana Jones, where people can kind of get on board, especially if you're a Black person. And again, I always talk about representation in this channel, in the comics, and in this content in general. This book is very much so, you can tell, written by a Black woman, because a lot of the conversations that the Black people have amongst each other in this, and especially within family, feels very authentic. It feels like someone who has watched Black people talk, or is a Black person themselves, in Stephanie Williams' case, has talked as a Black person. It doesn't feel like somebody writing for Black people. Additionally, when you're looking at some of the art, because the art is pretty good, the art's really good in this as well, it feels like maybe something, there was a conversation had between Stephanie and the artist where they put an emphasis on making sure that Black people are wearing and doing Black things. When you're looking at the fact that Savannah is wearing a head wrap into bed, or I think it's a bonnet, I can't remember quite off the top of my head if it was a bonnet or a head wrap, but some kind of protective headgear to protect her hair. We even see her husband is wearing a do-rag, which again doesn't seem like a lot of a big deal, but again, for somebody like me who loves to see Black people and Black things within the content that I consume, it's just nice to see that thing subtly thrown in there. It's not something that's like blasted and put in your face, but it's something subtle, like showcasing that, hey, they're Black people, they're going to operate like Black people. But yeah, again, this is a book I highly recommend you guys go to check out. If you don't feel like picking up the physical issue and you still want to read this, you can go to a site like Global Comics and you can pay a small subscription fee and read pretty much anything they have on there. I think they just recently announced that they're adding in Marvel Comics as well, so they pretty much have all the big publishers as far as Marvel, Image, and Mad Cave, IDW, I believe as well. They have all the big stuff there, and you can probably read this book there as well, and also show some love to the book. Because again, if you want a series to keep going, you need to go and make sure you're showing that with your hard-earned money. Again, I highly recommend this book for people that are looking for something new. Shout out to Stephanie Williams. Again, can't wait to see what else you have coming in with this series going forward. And shout out to all the people that were involved in creating this book. And again, y'all let me know in the comment section below, have you read this book? Did you enjoy this book? Do you feel like I'm gassing it maybe? If you haven't got it, let me know in the comment section below if you're planning on picking this book up after watching this video. But again, this has been Captain Diesel of Captain Diesel's Dojo. Y'all, if you made it this far into the video, please like the video, because you know it helps the video get out to more people and help my channel grow and the community grow. If you guys can't do that, which you know it's free, but if you don't want to do that, maybe look into doing the little hype thing that they added into YouTube now, where you give hype points, and it can really help a channel grow, especially smaller channels like this one get pushed out to bigger, more robust audience in regards to the amount of people that can see this channel. But again, this has been Captain Diesel of Captain Diesel's Dojo. I will see you guys next time, and be good people. Peace.